Backyard birds. Enigma of the American robin in Waterloo region, Ontario, Canada. My search to understand why robins migrate some years but not others. Some people say robins can freeze. Others say robins have warm feathers, that they grow thick down for winter and stay warm, like humans, with feather-filled coats. They say robins go south only if there aren't enough berries. But I would freeze too if I had nothing to wear except my big winter coat. Question: why do birds go south for the winter? Is it too cold for their tiny bodies in our great frozen north? Yes, for some birds it is too cold, not because of body size. Red-winged blackbirds migrate, but chickadees, which are much smaller, are just fine. Many people think basically all birds go south for the winter. Was in the moon of winter time, when all the birds had fled. So begins the Huron Christmas carol, but the birds have not all fled. Birds I've seen in Waterloo region from December through February. Mallard ducks, December 7, 2000. Ring-billed gull, locally known as seagull. I have no winter photos. Here's my eBird record of winter gull sightings. It was on Thursday, December 29 of 2022. I saw one ring-billed gull. I could only see that it was the shape and size of a gull. Its wings were long and pointed, so I knew it wasn't a crow or a pigeon. Crows and pigeons were the only other birds I saw in the area. I could not know what kind, but we generally have ring-billed gulls. Northern cardinal, female. Merlin. House finch, male. Canada geese. Black-capped chickadee. American robin. European starling. Mourning dove. Cooper's hawk. Rock pigeons, or just pigeons. American crow. House sparrow, male and female. Northern cardinal, male. Blue jay. American goldfinch. Red-tailed hawk. Dark-eyed junco. That's more than 15 species that I personally have seen, and I haven't seen all the winter species. Some of these birds may not be here all winter, every winter. During January, I see mostly only crows and starlings. However, these photos, despite some of very low quality, prove that these birds were here in Waterloo region on these winter dates. Birds don't consult the scientists' maps and calendars. Birds lead the way, scientists follow. Scientists chart maps and calendars to show when and where birds have been seen. Then the scientists figure out why the birds chose to be there on that day. Robin chooses to sit on fence in snowstorm. Robins and berries. About robins migrating because there aren't enough berries. These berries, ripe and juicy on November 12, 2011, will freeze dry and keep for the winter birds. Lots of birds eat berries all winter and never go south. They don't migrate at all. See them up there in the top of this tall tree. It's a cold evening in the dead of winter, February 25, 2022. Those starlings are facing into the bitterly cold wind and appear to be quite comfortable. It's not just half a dozen birds who decide not to migrate. All these starlings eat berries all winter. Some other big berry eaters are northern cardinal, Canada goose, American crow, black-capped chickadee, rock pigeons or just pigeons, house finch. The biggest berry eater of all is the American robin. Berries are native to Waterloo region. This wild climbing raspberry bush on the right sprouted from a crack in the pavement. A few years later, every July, I was eating berries with my cereal. Robins do not migrate for lack of berries or food. So I thought. Wild berries grow in rural, natural, and wilderness areas. Berries grow on ornamental bushes in parks, on private properties, and on business properties and government properties. There are enough berries for everyone. Scientists study midwinter robins. One afternoon in the middle of February 2024, I saw 4 robins in a flock of starlings. Others had seen robins all winter in the wilderness area nearby. I started reading. I wanted to know, why do robins migrate some years but not others? On the Cornell Lab website, All About Birds, I found an article with the title, "Is it unusual to see American robins in the middle of winter?" Quote, "One reason why they seem to disappear every winter is that in winter, robins form nomadic flocks, which appear where there are plentiful fruits on trees and shrubs. In spring, these flocks split up and we see American robins yanking worms out of our yards again." Unquote. Other articles say the robins migrate. I had more questions. I read about other birds too. Why do some birds migrate south for the winter but not others? Based on my readings, there are 2 main reasons that birds migrate south for the winter. 1. Food sources that are unavailable in winter. 2. Birds that are not physiologically equipped to handle extreme cold temperatures. Food for the winter birds. Birds have more than one thing in their diet. Besides berries, winter birds eat lots of other stuff. The goldfinch and housefinch eat seeds on tall grass and weeds sticking out of the snow. Grains like barley, wheat, oats, and corn are winter food for house sparrows, crows, ringed-billed gulls or seagulls, mallard ducks, starlings, and Canada geese. They find these in feedlots, plowed fields, or bird feeding stations. Native tree nuts such as acorn, horse chestnut, and black walnut are food for blue jays. Black-capped chickadees and blue jays also eat seeds of conifers. The prey birds. Prey birds are few and far between because they eat everything else. Merlin, adult, immature. Merlin eat house sparrows. Cooper's hawks also eat house sparrows and almost all the species of birds around here, including farm chickens. Cooper's hawk must be the Hinklevoy, or chicken hawk, Dad's range pullets used to fear. Red-tailed hawk. Red-tailed hawks eat mice, rats, cotton-tailed rabbits. Following an ice storm that leaves the weak and injured dead, prey birds of Waterloo region are the cleanup crew. Ice storm or freezing rain. An ice storm is a lot of freezing rain. During freezing rain, the temperature is at or just below freezing. Raindrops freeze on contact. Ice builds up on the ground, on top of snow, on power lines, on tree trunks, and on tree branches. on wire fences, on twigs of trees and bushes, on weeds and grasses, on everything birds eat. Water drips and icicles form. Some birds store food under bark of trees or under dead leaves on the ground. In worst case scenarios,
"Watch out! Ice! Crashes! It's so thick I can't crack it! I can't get a grip with my boot!"
a buildup of ice over soft snow is strong enough to carry an adult. This ice shield, up to a quarter-inch thick, locks food caches for a week. Wildlife suffers. Some individuals die, and the prey birds thrive. Cold. Birds are not all made the same. Northern cardinals don't mind extreme cold. When temperatures drop to -40°C, northern cardinals fluff up their feathers and tuck their beaks under their wings and stay warm. The black-capped chickadee lives year-round in Alaska and is especially adapted to extreme cold. By entering regulated hypothermia, it can lower its body temperature 10 to 12 degrees Celsius, conserve energy, and extract more oxygen from the air. Waterloo region is a long way across the continent from Alaska. In Waterloo region, nearly all our daytime temperatures are above -18°C or 0 Fahrenheit. Hypothermic birds like the house finch, downy woodpecker, and American robin must, like us humans, maintain the same core body temperatures at all times within 1 or 2 degrees. Birds seek out sheltered spots on cold nights. They can handle cold temperatures down to -18°C or 0 Fahrenheit. Waterloo region's climate. Located just above the Niagara Escarpment, Waterloo region is colder than more southerly counties, but warmer than counties to the north. Proximity to the Great Lakes impacts temperature and precipitation. This helps determine what birds live in Waterloo region. Note: Waterloo region is not much different from surrounding counties, provinces, and USA states, but I have lived here all my life and cannot speak for other areas. I compiled the temperatures of Waterloo region based on my observations beginning about 1970 and marked them on the thermometer in the middle. Summer highs are represented on the left and winter lows on the right. In case you've never heard of it, Waterloo region is located on the edge of the Greater Toronto Area, also known as the GTA, in Ontario, Canada. In the peninsula between the Great Lakes, never more than 60 miles from a large body of water, Waterloo region's climate is moderate, humid, continental. Humidity makes cold feel colder and hot feel hotter. Add sun in summer and we get humidex. Add wind in winter and we get wind chill. Don't confuse temperature with wind chill. Temperature is how hot or cold something feels when you touch it, the point at which water freezes or boils. When you touch a frozen steel pipe with dry leather gloves, it feels cold. That is temperature. If you spit on your gloves and touch that pipe, it sticks. That is humidity, sort of like wind chill. Wind chill is in the wind. We humans get out of the wind behind a building or bus shelter. Inside the bus shelter, we feel temperature, not wind chill. This difference is important for survival. Birds might shelter in thick trees and hedges or hollows in trees. Waterloo region's most brutal. When daytime highs never rise to -18°C or 0 Fahrenheit. The clear cold air is hard to breathe. The sub-zero blizzard can kill the best-dressed, unsheltered human within hours. In Waterloo region, we get about 3 days a year with daytime temperatures below -18 Celsius or 0 Fahrenheit. On those days, wind chills may range from the high -20s to the low -30s. Birds' preferred winter weather. I see most birds when temps are 5 to 10 degrees Celsius below freezing or warmer. The introduction to Celsius. For Americans who use Fahrenheit and anyone else unfamiliar with the Celsius temperature system. The following temperatures are in Celsius. In Celsius, the freezing point is 0. Thus, if you see a number, you know how many degrees it is above or below freezing. We show below freezing with a minus sign, e.g. -9. This number, 1, is 1 degree above freezing, and this number, -1, is 1 degree below freezing. Here are a few of my eBird records to illustrate. 1 degree above freezing. 3 degrees above freezing. A week of weather in February 2023. Tuesday, February 21, is a mild day with temperature just below freezing. Wind chill at -7 and a south wind. Lots of birds are out. 8 different species, 51 individual birds. The geese are flying. But a serious winter storm is predicted to start late tomorrow with a significant freezing rain and ice build-up possible. Friday, February 24. Bitterly cold. Temperature -12. Wind chill -19. Wind northwest 17. Gusts 32. Clear and sunny, but no birds. We've had seriously bad weather since my last bird sightings. Freezing rain, snow, ice pellets. 55 millimeters or 2¼ inches outside my door, frozen hard enough this morning for my cat to walk over without making a dent. Wind, freezing drizzle. I hope the early spring birds and year-round residents are okay. Not much ice on trees that I can see. Sunday, February 26, 2023. Much milder, and the birds are back. Cloudy, temperature -1, wind chill -7, wind west 24, gust 46. I observed 4 species, 44 individual birds. In this tree are European starlings, house sparrows, and dark-eyed junco. I heard crows. Without centrally heated, insulated homes, in Waterloo region's great outdoors, it's survival for the fittest. Watching the snowstorm from inside the window. But why do robins migrate some years and not others? I'm missing something. I ask Google, how cold can robins survive? Google shows 2 articles by northern writers that make sense to me. 1. Unpave the way for winter robins in Journey North, and Do Robins Migrate? American Robins Winter Habits Explained by American Bird Conservancy. In this meandering tale of temperatures, ice storms, and food, I missed what's unique to robins. We say berries for robins, greens for humans, but robins don't eat all berries any more than humans eat all greens. We eat leaf lettuce, but not tree leaves. Chives, but not grass. Then there's berries and apples. They grow on green plants or trees, but we pick out the red fruit. Are humans picky? No, we just pick out what's good for us. American robins likewise pick out what's good for them. In my survey of Waterloo region's berries, that never occurred to me. From Journey North. The best winter berries are those that start out tasting too bitter to eat, and after freezing and thawing several times, become tastier. Journey North lists bittersweet, bayberry, snowberry, sumac, mountain ash, crab apple, hackberry, hawthorn, red cedar, high bush cranberry, chokecherry. I'm not a berry specialist. Perhaps that list excludes many of Waterloo region's berries. Another thing I missed in this meandering tale is the impact of heavy snowfall. American Bird Conservancy says a heavy snowfall that persists for more than a few days may send them on their way, searching for better conditions. I try to understand. Heavy snowfall. It's not freezing rain or extreme cold that drives away the robins. It's a week of heavy snowfall. Early January on my street. Hardly any snow in 2012 versus lots of snow in 2017. Winter 2023 to 2024. Not much snow. January 4, 2024, normal winter temps at 8:40 a.m. Clear, cold, sunny morning. No birds. Temp -8, wind chill -15. Wind northwest 18. Historically mild temperatures. December 25, 2023, so mild and foggy that moisture drips from the trees. Robins all winter. December 22, 2023, unseasonably mild, cloudy, temp -1, wind chill -4, wind east 11. When there's so much snow, is it hard to breathe in all that snow? Is it hard to fly? Maybe it's who can find the right kind of berries under all that snow? Imagine having only a beak, claws, and wings to remove the snow. Robins cannot get out snow shovels and snow plows and clear the way to the grocery store. Snow falling at night. I cede the argument to the people who said robins migrate if there aren't enough berries, except it's more complicated than that. It matters what kind of berries are available, and it matters if they are snowed under or not. Robins, like most birds, find food by sight. If the berries are covered with snow, the robins fly away. They migrate. That answers my question about the enigma of the American robin. Why robins migrate some years but not others. Some years we have a lot of snow. Some years very little. It seems they migrate when we have too much snow. Maybe someday we will know for sure. Addendum. Waterloo region versus Middlesex County. Middlesex County is 2 counties southwest of Waterloo region, about 100 kilometers or 62 miles. I asked a colleague of mine in London, Ontario in Middlesex County to review this video. He tells me that on December 18, 2021, he and a friend saw 31 species in the park on the river in downtown London. Light snow was falling. This colleague suggests that downtown centres near bodies of water are more hospitable to birds than rural areas because the warmer environment of downtown melts snow and ice faster off food and water sources. In addition to the species I have seen in winter, in 3.5 hours these 2 birders saw common merganser in the river. Apparently the river wasn't frozen over. Great blue heron standing in the river. Sharp-shinned hawk. Eastern screech owl. Red-billed woodpecker. Downy woodpecker. Hairy woodpecker. Ruby-crowned kinglet. Golden-crowned kinglet. Red-breasted nuthatch, brown creeper, Carolina wren, red-winged blackbird in a flock of starlings. That's 13 species. Are all these birds in Waterloo region's downtown city centres in winter? I haven't seen them, but maybe I wasn't in the right place at the right time. I do most of my birding in my backyard, which is about 800 meters or half a mile from Waterloo region's Lake Victoria in Victoria Park in downtown Kitchener as the birds fly. Also, for the past several years, there was an excavation pond in the property next door that attracted birds and wildlife. It seems I would have seen them if they were here. It should be noted that Middlesex County is below the Niagara Escarpment. The Niagara Escarpment is a ridge of rock with a maximum height of 333 meters or 1,099 feet that runs through southern Ontario from Niagara Falls to the tip of Bruce Peninsula. The Niagara River falls over it at the south end. At the north end, it separates Georgian Bay from Lake Huron. That puts Middlesex County at a lower sea level. Middlesex County is also much closer to the Great Lakes than Waterloo region. This has a minor but important impact on temperature and precipitation, which affects growing conditions and growing season. This, in turn, affects what birds and plants are found. Different bird species require or prefer different kinds of foods and different kinds of environments. Even if these additional 13 species do not appear in Waterloo region in winter, and they might, but I don't know, it is important to note that they have been seen in southern Ontario in the winter. You can see my colleague's eBird checklist of December 18, 2021 at, here's the URL. But there's more. My colleague and his friend saw 28 robins on that birding trip, and one of those robins was singing. Mostly, robins sing only in spring when defending territory for raising their young, but this one was singing in December. You know what? Those two birders had stumbled onto a winter flock of American robins, as quoted in my original video. In winter, robins form nomadic flocks, which appear where there are plentiful fruits on trees and shrubs. I guess there was lots of food in that park. Do robins from Waterloo region all fly down to that park in Middlesex County? I don't think so. We have too many robins for them here in Waterloo region. Last spring, one evening, I heard 6 robins singing on my city block alone. I think they form their own flock and hang out in the wilderness area I mentioned earlier, where people had been seeing robins all winter. I think that's where the 4 robins came from that I saw on February 10, 2024, or one like it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.